All right, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be recording this, and if there's anything that you missed and you'd like a copy, then you can just put those comments in the chat if you'd like me to send that to you. Welcome to Translating Ideas into Money. This is a proven path to unlocking revenue from your best ideas. And I think you're going to be happily surprised that it's a simple path. It's a simple process. Simple doesn't mean easy, but anybody can do it. All right, so congrats on being here today. You've already made the first move towards checkmate in your business. Checkmate is when you win the game in chess. And when you make the right moves in business, winning gets a lot easier. And this webinar is based on the book that I wrote in 2018 called Checkmate: Winning Tactics for Translating Ideas into Money. Not necessarily the best title, but the one I came up with then. And I initially learned and developed this system while providing subject matter expertise on a multi-million dollar software platform serving the construction management industry. And I worked with an software implementation strategist by the name of Georgia Perky, and she helped me with this. She gave me a lot of the information here, and then I crafted it into this particular presentation. If you would like the book, you can find it on Amazon. Go to amazon.com/author/John Witt, and you'll get it. It was a bestseller when I first published it. And if you'd like a copy of the PDF, I'm going to put a link in the chat at the end here where you can get a link to the PDF copy of the book. And we'll have a little bit of time, I think, for Q&A at the end, but feel free to drop any questions in the chat as we go along. Showing up isn't just half the battle, it's your opening move, and you're here today. And so checkmate in chess represents the ultimate victory. It's a strategy game, it's a focus game, it's a precision game. In business, checkmate means translating your ideas into real world results. That's revenue, growth, impact, whatever results you're looking for. I use the word revenue because that's what most businesses are trying to achieve. But you have lots of things that you can use in this, and it's all about getting to the results that you're looking for. So just like in chess, every move you make is part of a bigger strategy. And our goal today is simple. We're just going to give you a simple, straightforward path to begin to translate your ideas into the results that you're looking for. Most people looking for revenue. My name's John Witt. I'm the owner of Business Wit and the founder of the Lifeshine Generosity Coaching Program. And today we're going to dive into 5 critical areas essential to success when we talk about translating ideas into money. And we're going to talk about 2 prerequisites because, frankly, if you don't have these, you don't need to start. You have to have these 2 prerequisites to be successful at all. If you don't have them, I think it's better to go get a job and work for a living or something of that sort. But you're not going to get there because translating ideas into revenue is not an easy path. It's a simple path, but it's not an easy path. And so we'll explore that formula for translating ideas into revenue and the common roadblocks that stop most people. So there's a few key strategies that you can begin to implement today. But first, let me share a little bit about myself. I spent 30 years working in the corporate world, focused on results, and I'll admit, sometimes forgetting about the people behind those numbers. And people is going to be a theme that we talk about today. In 2010, I started a new journey, and I spent the last 14 years refining my craft as a business, career, and life coach. And I've learned from industry giants like Brian Tracy and Jeff Walker, and I follow the teachings of John Maxwell and Patrick Lencioni and Zig Ziglar. It's been a wonderful journey. But things took a turn for me at when I turned 52. At 52, I had some things going on in my life, and I literally discovered Jesus. I had no understanding of that. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time in this space, but it changed my life. So peace, grace, and mercy became a part of my daily life, and I found new purpose. And I went from literally a consumer-focused executive to someone deeply committed to contributing. And in 2020, along with a lot of other people, my life hit a storm. I had heart surgery. I got a divorce. The pandemic hit. It was a tough year. But I had a revelation in that year that led to the creation of something new. And that new something, that revelation, is the Lifeshine Generosity Coaching Program. And the idea that generosity, whether it's through time or talent or treasure, leads to greater long-term results and brings joy to the giver. So imagine having better long-term results and being happier and more joyful about the journey and the process because you don't have a choice. You're going to be on the journey. And I was inspired at that time by Matthew 5:16. Let your light shine before others that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. And so that's the foundation of my practice. And that's one of the reasons why I do webinars and one of the reasons why I'm doing challenges. And I'll talk to you more about those in a little bit. Right. So the process in this case we're going to dive in is extremely simple. You'll not have any trouble understanding. Follow the process and you'll get the results that you want. And to be honest with you, there's one step in the process that makes all the others easier. And if you've ever read The One Thing, the idea is to figure out what that one thing is to make everything else in your day easier, everything else in your week easier. What is that one thing that can make it easier? And there is a one thing in this process, and we'll get to that. And with this process, you can take your ideas and you can turn them into something that not only brings you success, but allows you to shine your light and impact the lives of others. So let's start out with why ideas matter. Now, have you ever had an idea so brilliant that you felt like you should patent it immediately, and then you forget it 5 minutes later? Yeah, I've had those before. And if I had $1 for every time, I probably wouldn't need this business, this process that I'm in today. Ideas. Every business starts with an idea. It's an idea about being able to solve a problem. Ideas are the seeds of innovation, and without them, there's no growth. They are the raw material for every business success story. But the true value of an idea, the reason why ideas don't always work, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more too, is execution. A great idea without action is just a dream. It's through clarity and strategy and team collaboration that ideas become real. They become revenue generating products or services. Ideas matter because they allow businesses to evolve and solve problems and fill market gaps. They drive change, innovation, progress, but only when they're translated into actionable steps. And so this process today is going to show you what those actionable steps are. In business, you're not just selling a product or service, you're selling an idea that resonates with people and fulfills a need. That's why turning your idea into a reality matters. It's not just your success, it's the people the idea will impact. It matters to them. There are people in the world that are experiencing the problem that your idea solves, and they need you to bring that product to market. And they'll gladly pay you to solve that problem. That's business. And one of the things we're going to focus here is how do we test and validate our process for translating ideas into business value? Okay, common roadblocks. Why most ideas never turn into profits. So, lack of clarity. This is a lack of understanding of all the aspects that are necessary to turn your idea into money. It's like assembling a jigsaw puzzle without the picture on the box. Sure, the pieces are all there, but good luck figuring out what it's supposed to look like. If you don't have clear direction, your idea can be just a collection of disconnected pieces. You need to know exactly what the final outcome should be and who it's for, or you'll spend all your time guessing, hoping something fits together, and it doesn't. It fails. If you're interested, I have a lot of resources to help people with clarity. You can put that in the chat. Second thing is difficulty executing. Now, this again, the idea is one part, but you have to execute. And so if you've ever tried to put, now I love IKEA furniture, halfway through, you realize that you built a chair that looks more like a ladder, and now you're sitting on the floor with leftover screws. I don't know. I haven't built a chair that looks like a ladder, but I have been on the floor with leftover screws. And ideas can feel the same way. So without a plan and the right tools, even the best ideas, they crumble when it's time to execute. If you think back to the dot-com explosion, implosion, a lot of great ideas, a lot of money got thrown at those, but only a few of them really made it out. eBay, Amazon, a few others, only a few really made it out of that. And that's because they were better at executing. So when it comes to execution, planning, strategy, I've got tools there to help you as well. And then the last one is not identifying the right market. So the reality is that you cannot sell snowblowers in Miami. Your product might be the best ever, but if you're targeting the wrong crowd, it's not going to take off. You need to know who actually needs your idea. And that's part of the testing and validation process we're going to share. Otherwise, you're just sitting in the wrong market. It's not going to do it. Most people think that having a great idea is all you need. It's not. An idea without execution, you got nothing. So let's talk about the checkmate approach. And this is really how business strategy mirrors chess, right? And we talk about clarity of vision, tactical execution. Those are the actual steps. And you need to take those steps in the right order. And then you have to learn through adversity because you don't get a choice as to when adversity shows up, right? So if you ever tried to play chess without knowing the rules, or any game for that matter, it's like running a business without a vision. If you don't have the vision, you're just moving pieces and hoping for the best. When I started playing competitive chess, I lost 15 games in a row. It's one of the reasons that incented me to learn because there was something going on that I didn't understand. So in business and chess, both of them, clarity of vision gives you the roadmap. That's when you know where you're headed before you get started. Otherwise, you're just pushing pieces around. And then tactical execution. So this is the steps, the actual steps that you need to move in the right order. If you, in a game of chess, if you don't know what the queen does, for example, and when to move her, you're just sending her out into battle like she's on a coffee break. It's a fast way to lose the game. Once you have a clear vision, it's all about making the right moves. It's all about making the right moves at the right time. In business, this means precision in hiring and marketing and decision making. In chess, when you make the right moves, you win the game. In business, when you make the right moves, winning gets a lot easier. It's all about the execution. And then the last one is learning through adversity. There are tons of opportunities that people are trying to take advantage of, but adversity shows up and deals them a twist or a turn or a curveball or a pitch in the dirt and they swing. It doesn't work. Adversity is going to come along. And so you have to be prepared for life's adversity. Adversity is life's great teacher. Business challenges, they're like a tough chess game. They offer valuable lessons. The real winners are the ones who learn from their mistakes and keep improving their strategy. We make the most mistakes when we're learning. We don't get to decide when adversity shows up. Big, little, small, ginormous, it walks in the door. Adversity walks in the door when it wants to. We get to decide how to respond. Now, you can short circuit some of this by learning from others. Books, videos, webinars, coaching, those are all tools that can shorten the adversity cycle. All right, I talked about prerequisites for success, and here they are. The two things that you have to have: the attitude of a champion, heart of a leader. You as an individual, you have to have these things. And that's really, in many ways, mindset. That's your mindset. So I have clients, and I've had this conversation before. It's like buying a fancy treadmill and only using it to hang your laundry. It looks good, but it's not doing the job. You got to get on that thing and start running. In business, success requires two things: the mindset of a champion and the heart of a leader. It's about confidence and grit, humility and empathy. And it's driven by attitude. Attitude is the driver behind the heart of a champion. In fact, just today I read an article about how corporate leaders are unhappy or less successful with Gen Z right now, and it's about attitude. Attitude is the key. If you can find the right attitude, you can make big things happen. Diligence, perseverance, discipline, ambition, goal setting. Yeah, you need knowledge and skills, but without attitude, you'll never get there. And we all know people that have great skills and knowledge, but can't get out of their own way. And we know others that have little to start with and they make it big. And those, they make movies about those people. Now, of course, mindset is critical. Without it, you can't get there. You also have this execution requirement. Think of it this way: if you showed up to a chess tournament with the mindset of a checkers player, that wouldn't really be effective. You need to believe that you can win, and then you need to make the right moves to back it up. Your mindset shapes your strategy, but execution is what gets you across the finish line. Execution means making mistakes. You've got to be willing to learn, being willing to learn, make mistakes, and grow through adversity. There are no failures, only lessons. You got to be willing to learn and grow through adversity. Don't ask, why is this happening to me? Ask, why is this happening for me? What are you supposed to learn from this? Trial and error is the oldest learning tool in the history of mankind. There is no failure, only lessons. So you've got to have the right attitude and you got to be willing to learn and learn from your mistakes, because you're going to make mistakes when you're learning new things. Everybody does. All right. Clarity is the specific target, right? Without clarity, we're stuck. And that's why it's the foundation. Once you've got those two prerequisites, this is the foundation. And like the foundation of a house, without it, everything else crumbles. So if you don't have clarity on your idea, product, your service, you're not going to get there. Without understanding your idea, the audience, the outcomes, just not going to get there. So the actionable steps for you that you can take today is to define your core. And when I say define it, get it tight. If it takes you 15 minutes to describe it, and then you end up talking about something totally different, that's not clarity. You need to pinpoint exactly what your idea is and what the problem it solves. And you start with defining the problem that you're going to solve. And then we talk about how you're going to solve it. The second thing is you need to identify your target audience. Who has this problem? Are there enough people out there that have this problem that it makes sense to invest the time, the energy, and the money into this activity? Selling gluten-free bread to people who don't even eat bread, that's just not going to happen. That's what happens when you don't know your audience. So figure out who benefits from your idea the most. And then outline specific outcomes. What are the specific benefits that your idea provides? As we solve this problem, what's the benefit of solving that problem? If you're not aiming for something specific, it's like trying to win a game of darts without a bullseye. Know what success looks like so you can create a plan to get there. So, clarity, like going to the grocery store with a list. I always make a list. Without it, I end up with a cart full of stuff. I always forget stuff, and I have no idea whether it can actually make dinner. If you don't know exactly what your business idea is and who it's for, you're going to be grabbing at random ideas, random opportunities, and hoping that one works out. All right, here's the process, right? It starts with ideation. This is your clarity process, right? Ideation is where the light bulb goes off. Like thinking, I'll build the next big thing. That's the starting point. And then we need to get clarity on that ideation. And the second step is team building. Now, building your team, and this is where we're going to talk about the one thing you can do that makes everything else easier. When you come up with the idea, do your best to get clarity on that, but you're stuck with the space you have between your ears. And building a team, who else can help you poke holes and kick it and validate and give you additional clarity? That's where the key is. So your team is like the instruction manual. They're going to give you the guidance. You need the right people on board early on. They can help you develop clarity. Gather a team that provides fresh perspectives and helps you refine your vision. Now, once that clarity is done to a large degree, then we talk about testing and validation. Now, I mentioned the dot-com explosion, implosion back in the 2000s. And what we had there is a lot of people that had ideas, that got a lot of money, and they spent tons of money and nothing came to fruition. Like I say, only a few companies really made it through that. And that's because they really didn't test and validate their idea. Testing and validation, the concept there is that we're willing to spend a little bit of energy, a little bit of time, a little bit of money to make sure that we're going to be able to get the results that we want and we need. And once that's confirmed, I'd much rather spend a little bit of money to find out that it's not going to work or that it will work instead of spending a whole lot of money and then finding out it's not going to work. Let's do a little testing and validation. So before going all in, test your idea and validate with your target audience. This is where surveys come into play. Test your idea, validate with your target audience, and then refine it based on their feedback. And then the next step is execution. This is the planning. It's like hitting send on that email that you spent way too much time perfecting. Scary, yes. Necessary, absolutely. Now that you've got your idea and your feedback, it's time to act. Build the plan and execute your plan with confidence. This is where ideas meet action. And the last thing that's really important is change management. Now, this is a place where people fall down all the time. And I will tell you they fall down in all of these areas, but change management. Understand that adversity is going to come with you. You can have the best plan in the world, but adversity is going to tweak it. You're going to find out that you're off plan most of the time, and you're going to need a course correction system. Change management. That's the minute that build that furniture, IKEA comes up again, right? And then realize that it won't fit through the door. That's not going to work. We don't want that. Change is inevitable. Whether it's shifting market trends, new team dynamics, be prepared to adapt. Businesses that thrive are the ones that handle change like the pros. So the whole process of turning ideas into money is like planning a surprise party. You got the big idea, the team who hopefully won't spill the beans. You test the waters by casually asking if they like surprises. You execute the plan and then surprise, something changes. Something changes last minute all the time. But just like in business, you got to have some flexibility, some quick thinking, and you can turn it around. You can course correct. So these are the 5 steps. You have the 2 prerequisites, which is really attitude and learning, and these 5 steps: ideation, which is clarity; team building, testing and validation; execution, and change management. So what does that look like in a real world success story? Lisa's sustainable fashion brand. I pulled this stuff up. I've worked with different clients in this space, right? She starts out with a vision of launching a sustainable fashion line. She's got clarity by defining her target market, which is eco-conscious millennials. She's got a team that includes designers and marketing pros. And then she tests her products at pop-up events, right? You can do this. You can test your product at kiosks and pop-up events. She gets good feedback. So now she's going to go into launching, planning, and scheduling her project. And she nails it. But later on, as she's doing this, pretty soon she finds out she's not just making clothes. She's managing the production process and technology innovations. And she's got to adapt and she's got to scale. And that's how you get to that point where she struts through the eco fashion world like it's her personal runway. Then we have Tom's construction management software. Now, Tom, I spent a lot of time in construction management software too. So he knows that construction's got a lot of chaos. So he creates a management software. So simple that even a contractor could use it without needing a PhD. And it's all about ease of use and affordability. And so he rallies a team of software geeks. This is his team, software geeks, construction pros, and then he tests it. He tests it with the marketplace and he gets some feedback and he refines it. Then he does the planning and he brings it out to market. And as the orders come in, he's got to figure out how to scale customer support. And so Tom goes mobile and now his software is everywhere. And he's helping construction firms build more efficiently while he builds consistent revenues. So Lisa and Tom both follow this process. They know this process and it leads to success. All right. So I told you before that there was one thing that makes everything easier, and it's all about people, the power of people in business. It's the one thing that makes everything easier. Your team is your most powerful asset. The right people, and that's the key. It's not anybody, it's the right people. They bring clarity, innovation, and execution to life. Business, people are your secret weapon. Like you can't execute the idea by yourself. It's like playing chess without a board. It doesn't work. With the right people, though, everything clicks. They're the ones who help you connect the dots, give you clarity when you're spinning in circles, and make those tasks, sometimes they seem impossible, happen. Your team's like the WD-40 for the business machine. When things get stuck, they keep everything running smoothly. What you're looking for is talent. You're looking for ideally top talent or elite talent. That's the team that you want. When you surround yourself with the right people, roadblocks just become stepping stones. Roadblocks become the lemonade that you make when you get lemons. People can solve those problems. So people solve all of the problems that we have with translating ideas into money, but it's about the right people. People are the foundation of translating ideas into money. They provide fresh perspectives. They help with the execution. They help overcome the adversity. The right team transforms vision into action. Okay, actionable takeaways for today. We're almost done here. What you can do, refine your idea. This is your steps. Write this down. Refine your idea. And it's like editing a novel, right? Don't send the first draft to print. Hone in on what's most valuable about your idea and get crystal clear on what your problem idea solves and who benefits from it. Now, you can ask, you can tell your friends, you can tell your advisors, get some advice so that your idea becomes even more dialed in. And then create an action plan. That's your GPS for your business. You wouldn't drive across the country without directions, right? Your action plan is that plan. And now the action plan could be hire these people or engage these people and test and validate, and then put together a production plan and then a change management plan. And then you got to start executing. If it's like jumping in the pool, if you've done all the planning, you got to jump in. You can't just keep testing the water. People get stuck here all the time. There's a fear, there's a component that won't allow them to do it. This is where coaching comes into play because we can help people get through this. Start taking action with the confidence that progress beats perfection. And refining your idea is like making the perfect cup of coffee. Start with good beans, your idea, grind it just right, your plan, and then brew it. That's execution. Just make sure you don't wait too long and it gets cold. All right. Want to learn more? Okay. Thank you for being here today. If you want to learn more, you can sign up for deeper dive programs. Fast Track to Business Freedom's coming up. Translating Ideas into Money's coming up. The deeper dive. And if you just put some notes in chat, tell me that you're interested. I'm going to put some links into chat. So in chat now is the place where you can book a call. If you want somebody, you want to talk to somebody about your idea, you can certainly spend some time with me. I don't charge anything for conversations, and my calendar link is right there. If you'd like a copy of the book, the complete book, Checkmate Winning Tactics for Translating Ideas into Money, then you can click on that link and you can get a PDF copy of the book. And then I am asking a favor. Would you please take this webinar survey? It'll take you about a minute. It's not much, it's 6 questions. They're all check boxes. It'll take you about a minute to complete, and I would really appreciate that. So here's the thing. You can do this Fast Track to Business Freedom, and really that's all about people. That's a deeper dive into the people, talent, elite talent model. And then you can go into a little bit deeper dive because, and the book helps do this too. It goes into a deeper dive on what each of those steps really includes. All of this is like a menu. You can go for the savory, Fast Track to Business Freedom, or the sweet, translating ideas into money. Either way, you're getting a delicious plate of success.